members to start tendering our apology for starting a bit late. The sighting of the moon that happened last week had the ripple effect of us pushing the AGM, which also coincided with another event that had slated for today. So members, we tender our apology. Today, I am joined by my council, and I'd like to introduce my council. I'll start with the person seated on my far left, that is Mr. Mundia Mwangi, a council member. We also have Madam I have the secretary and also joined by the secretary, Madam Modoni Kashar. We also have the secretary of the welfare committee, Madam Effie Sheila, and on my far right, thank you very much, Bwana Secretary. Good afternoon, members. Once again, we apologize for that technical hitch, and even the fact that we have started a bit late. I had earlier explained that the sighting of the moon last week made us postpone the AGM, which also coincided with another event that was happening today. And so, members, we apologize, and also apologize for the failure in technology. At this juncture, I'll invite the secretary to read the notice so that we can start the meeting.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning again, members. This is the notice convening the AGM of the Law Society of Kenya Nairobi Branch 2025. The notice reads as follows. Dear members, the subject is Lsk Nairobi Branch Notice of Annual General Meeting 2025. Notice is hereby given pursuant to Regulation 65(1), 75 and 97 of the Law Society of Kenya General Regulations 2020 and Clause 11 of the Branch Charter that the Law Society of Kenya Nairobi Branch will hold its annual general meeting, that is the AGM, virtually on Friday, 6th June 2025 at 10 a.m. via an online platform whose details will be communicated in due course. The agenda for the AGM shall be as follows. Number 1, Secretary to read the notice convening the meeting. Number 2, adoption of the agenda. Number 3, introduction of council members. Number 4, silence in tribute to members departed. Number 5, confirmation of the minutes of the last AGM held on the 7th June 2024 in a hybrid manner. Number 6 is matters arising. Number 7, the 2024 annual report of the Lsk Nairobi Branch. Number 8, presentation of financial statements and auditors' reports for the financial year 2024. Number 9, report on council motion dated 7th March 2025, proposed at the Lsk AGM held on the 28th of March 2025. Number 10, notice of motion given by members to the secretary, if any. And number 11, any other business which may be admitted. And this is by order of the council, signed by the chairperson, Lsk Nairobi Branch, Mr. Eric Kivulo. Thank you, Chair, and back to you.
Thank you, Bwana Secretary. I'd like now to invite members to propose for the adoption of the agenda. We need a proposer.
My name is Francis Maura, P105 18252/20, and I propose the adoption of the agenda of the meeting.
Thank you, Bwana Francis. Can we have someone online? Second. We need a seconder. Javan Omondi, I note that you have seconded. Could you please share your P105 number? Can we unmute Mr. Javan Omondi to share his P105 number? Mr. Javan, you can proceed. Javan, you may need to unmute on your end. If Javan is not available, can we have someone else? I note that Mr. Javan Omondi has shared his P105 number. Thank you, Mr. Javan Omondi, for seconding the adoption of the agenda. I would like now to invite the Secretary, the Welfare Committee, Madam Effie Sheila, to lead us in tribute to members departed.
Thank you, Chair. I will read a list of the deceased advocates for the year 2024 from Nairobi Branch. Number 1, Cecily Mutitu Muriuki, Mohamed Ibrahim Gedi, Anthony Gadhitu Kabati, Samuel Tumaini Wamocha Nasongo, Jocelyn Mutegeki, Paul Mwangi Ndungu, Jen Wanjiko Gidinji, Kasam Shirin Abdullah Ismail, Joseph Gidinji Turanira, Amos Otieno Oyalo, Sandra Nyaboke Nyakweba, Janet Akinyi Odero, Joseph Ngudiru Kingarui, Simani Sangale Senior Counsel, Honorable Monica Njoki Kivuti, Honorable Justice David Shikomera Majanja, Evans Umida Orenjo, Charity Mumbe Kilungia, Martin Kiai Luthu, Honorable Retired Justice Amritlal Bwagwaji Shah, Samuel Kinyanjui, Barison Ditari Ungadia, Muchesi Alan Mukabani, Jael Vike Ludeki, Eugene Boga Ogeto, Dr. Wilfred Akoya Mutubwa, Elizabeth Achieng Ouma Karanja, Paul Njagi Kiambo, Honorable Retired Crispin Beda Nagila, Justice, Ivona Achieng Bondi, and lastly, George Mugoye Mbeya. Members, I would like us to be upstanding for a minute of silence for the deceased members. May their souls rest in eternal peace.
Thank you, Madam Secretary, to the Welfare Committee. I'd like now to invite the branch secretary to take us through the confirmation of the minutes for the last AGM held on the 7th of June, 2024.
Thank you again, Chair. These are the minutes of the AGM of the Lsk Nairobi Branch held on the 7th of June, 2024 at the Golden Tulip Hotel and on Zoom platform at 10 a.m. Members, you will excuse me, I will not go through the names of the members who are present, but if you don't see your name from the list, you can raise it during the matters arising stage and it will be rectified. So I'll go directly to the minutes. Minute number 1 was commencement and opening remarks. The meeting commenced at 10:43 a.m. with opening remarks by the then acting chair of the Lsk Nairobi branch, Ms. Elizabeth Wanjiro, and a prayer by Wendy Muganda. Members sang the national anthem and the East African community anthem. Chair welcomed members to the branch AGM and recognized the physical presence of the branch council members and the secretariat. Minute number 2 was reading of the notice convening the meeting. Chair formally called the AGM to order and noted the number of members present. The acting secretary, Josephine Oyombe, read the notice convening the meeting. Minute number 3 was adoption of the agenda. The proposed agenda, which had been circulated before the meeting, was presented by the chair and adopted. Wendy proposed the agenda and Ross Njeri seconded the agenda, which was adopted. Minute number 4 was introduction of council members. The chair requested council members present to introduce themselves. All members, with the exception of Damari Etemesi, were present physically. The Lsk Nairobi branch representatives, Mr. Stephen Mbugwa, Gloria Kimani, and Irene Otto, were physically present. Minute number 5 was on silence in tribute to members departed. The members observed a moment of silence in tribute to the members of the branch who had departed. The list of members departed had been shared with all members via email and was included in the Lsk Nairobi branch annual report for the year 2023. Minute number 6 was on confirmation of the minutes of the last AGM held on the 7th June 2024 physically at Golden Tulip, Nairobi, and virtually on Zoom. The secretary took members through the minutes of the previous AGM held on the 30th June 2023. She welcomed members to make any comments on the minutes. Minute number 6.2 was that the minutes were proposed for adoption as an accurate account of the meeting held by Esther Kinywa. Proposed by Esther Kinywa and seconded by Georgiadis Majimbo. 6.3, the members were polled on whether they supported the adoption of the minutes. 96% of the members voted that they supported the minutes. Minute number 7 was on matters arising. There were no matters arising from the meeting held on the 30th June 2023, when they took members through the matters arising from the previous meeting held on the 10th of June 2022. Minute number 7 was the 2023 annual report of the Lsk Nairobi branch. 8.1, Elizabeth Wanjiru led members through the 2023 annual report of the branch, which contained the following: introduction, branch council, council meetings, branch secretariat, the 6th annual general meeting of the Lsk Nairobi branch, the branch strategic plan for the years 2017 to 2022, branch engagements with key stakeholders, branch committees engagements, branch programs, branch elections 2022, challenges and measures to resolve them, chapter reports, that is for Kiambu and Thika chapters, pictorials, and the audited financial statements. Minute number 8.2 was branch annual report for the 2023, the summary thereof. 8.21, the annual report was summarized as follows. Parts A, B, and C of the report provided details of the branch council meetings of the previous and present council, and the corporate governance statement. Part D set out the secretariat, the location, contact information, functions of the secretariat personnel, modes of communication with members such as social media, bulk SMS and email, weekly newsletter, and noted that the communication Wakili had no issue in 2023. Part E set out the meetings of the previous AGM, while Part F set out the strategic plan of the branch, which was still in effect. Part H set out the various branch committees, including the branch council committees, the bar bench committees, the tribunal committees, the liaison committees, and the special committees. Pages 38 to 63 highlighted the various achievements and KPIs of the programs of the branch. There were social and welfare programs in partnership with the LSK SACCO, Mega Health Insurance Brokers, Kingdom Bank, among others that sought to improve the welfare of members. The branch also successfully held some activities such as the Nairobi Legal Awards 2023 and several legal aid activities. The turnout at branch activities had improved and members were encouraged to attend. The members noted that fundraising improved as the audited accounts showed more income received from sponsorships as compared to the previous year, 2022. Members were requested to subscribe and support the branch activities as the Secretariat continues to zealously seek more sponsors for the branch events. The chapter reports for Kiambu and Thika were also included in the report, and their activities and achievements highlighted by Mr. Stephen Mbugwa. Minute 8.211 was on challenges and measures to resolve them. Part J of the report covered the challenges faced by the branch and measures to resolve them. It was noted that the number of subscribed members increased in 2023, thereby generating an income of Kenya shillings 243,900, and members were urged to pay for the membership subscription to support the branch events. Minute 8.22 was adoption of the report. The report was proposed for adoption by Stephen Mbugwa and seconded by Susan Joroge. A poll was conducted on adoption of the report. 89% of the members voted in support of the adoption of the report. Minute number 9 was on presentation of financial statements and the auditor's reports for the financial year 2022. 9.1 was on the financial statements. The treasurer, Mr. Ribin Ondwari, presented the financial statements, which showed a decrease in the administrative expenses by the sum of 3 million shillings and an increase in the chapter grants. Minute number 9.2 was on the auditor's report. The treasurer invited Ms. Evelyn Kanjagwa from Ronald's LLP to present the audit report. The appointed representatives from the firm of Ronald's LLP presented the report, whose opinion indicated that proper books were kept by the branch in accordance with the Law Society of Kenya Act and related regulations. Minute number 9.3 was on reaction from members. Patroba Omwenga sought clarification on whether there is a partnership with KIPI as reported by Victor Mulindi. He also noted that Josephine Oyombe paid a courtesy call to KIPI, categorized as a stakeholder engagement and not a partnership. Victor Mulindi confirmed that there was a stakeholder engagement. Angela Munga Mwadumbo commended the council for the comprehensive report shared with members. Minute number 9.4 was adoption of the financial statements and comments. The financial statements were proposed for adoption by Felix Ndeke and seconded by Lilian Nyangasi. A poll was conducted and the results showed that 78% of members supported adoption of the financial statements. Minute number 10 was notice of motion given by members to the secretary, if any. 10.1, there were no motions presented by members to the secretary. Minute number 11 was inauguration and handover to the incoming council. The chair gave her remarks thanking members for the period she served members together with other outgoing council members. She congratulated all the outgoing council members who rose to the LSK National Office Council and Lady Justice Helen Namisi for her appointment as a High Court judge. She also congratulated the incoming council for being duly elected to serve members. Justus Munyithia presented the certificates of appreciation to the outgoing council. The chair shared apologies from Garuya Waithaka, the chair of the Independent Electoral Committee, IEC, and the meeting was handed over to the IEC represented by Joy Matheka and William Okech. Joy Matheka presided over the handing over ceremony, which included taking of oath of office for the newly elected council. The following members were duly elected to serve as branch council for the term 2024 to 2026. Eric Kivuva, Chair, Ribin Ondwari, Vice Chair, Caroline Kasoa, Senior Lawyer of over 20 years, Shadrach Omondi, In-House Council Representative, Jane Goshi, Kiambu County Representative, Wycliffe Oyo, Irene Kiul, Barbara Mwaura, Mudhoni Gashara, Stephen Mundia, and Efishila Achien. Justus Munyithia and Irene Otto presented the certificates of appreciation by members of the IEC. The program then was handed over to the newly elected council, and Eric Kivuva gave his remarks as chair. He expressed his commitment to serving and working with members, and he further committed to foster cohesiveness and collaboration amongst members. He thanked his colleagues, campaign team, friends, family, and his wife who supported him. Minute number 11 was any other business which may be admitted. Victor Mulindi gave a vote of thanks and encouraged to actively participate in branch committees and events. The meeting ended at 2:35 p.m. with a prayer from Joy Matheka and a photo shoot session. This account of the minutes of the previous meeting held on the 7th of June 2024 was prepared by Wendy Muganda, the Lsk Nairobi Branch Secretariat, and the same is dated the 7th of June 2024. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Governor Secretary to the branch. At this juncture, I'll invite a proposer to confirm indeed that this is the true account of the minutes. Someone to propose? Remember to share your name and P105 number. Mr. Kevin Walumbe wants to propose. Could we have Kevin Walumbe unmuted? Mr. Walumbe, go ahead.
My name is Kevin Walumbe.
Check. Mic check.
The number is 13482 17.
Thank you, Mr. Kevin Walumbe. Another member to second. Need a seconder. Mr. Harmony Afandi, let us unmute Ms. Harmony Afandi to second. Ms. Harmony, please go ahead.
Good afternoon, Chair. I'm Harmony, P105, 986/24 seconds.
Thank you, Ms. Harmony Afandi, for seconding the minutes. I don't know whether you shared your opinion. Yes, thank you very much. We will now proceed to matters arising. Members, we are on matters arising. Thank you, members. We note that there are still some challenges with the sound. I hope it is now improved. The technical team, we need to sort the issue of the sound. Members, we are on item number 6, matters arising. There being no matters arising, members, we will proceed to the presentation of the 2024 annual report of the Lsk Nairobi Branch. And I'll invite Mr. Mwangi Mundia to read the presentation, to lead us in the presentation of the first part of the report. Mr. Mundia.
Good afternoon, members and colleagues. I will take you through the report of the activities of the Law Society of Kenya, Lsk Nairobi Branch, in the year 2024.
Sorry, members, for that small hitch. We have put up a poll for the adoption of the minutes of the previous meetings. Let us take the poll, members, before we go to the presentation of the report. I am happy to see reports from members that indeed the sound has now improved. Thank you. Thank you, members, and sorry once again, technology is failing us. I think the devil is moving a bit this morning, but anashindwa kwa jina la Yesu. That said, members, allow me now to invite Mr. Mwangi Mundia to take us through Part A of the 2024 annual report. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Once again, good afternoon, colleagues and members. I will take you through the report of the activities of the Law Society of Kenya, Lsk Nairobi Branch for the year 2024, Part A to D. Part A on an introduction, the Law Society of Kenya, Nairobi Branch comprises of the Council, the Secretariat, committees, and the general membership through which it executes its functions. This report covers the activities and programs of Lsk Nairobi Branch in the year 2024. The Branch Council, the previous Branch Council 2022 to 2024 served its term from January 2024 to June 2024. The following comprised of the previous council members: Ms. Helen Namisi, now Justice, who was the chair; Ms. Elizabeth Ndomo, the vice chair; Mr. Stephen Mbogwa, who was the secretary and Kiambu County representative; Mr. Ribin Ondwari, who was the treasurer; Mr. Victor Mulindi, who was the organizing secretary; Ms. Joy Matheka, who was the communications secretary; Damari Etemesi, who was the in-house council representative and fundraising secretary; Ms. Gloria Kimani, who was the welfare secretary; Ms. Teresia Wavinya, and Ms. Josephine Oyombe. After the elections held on 3rd of May 2024 and AGM held on 7th of June 2024, the newly elected council members were sworn into office, and therefore the current branch council comprises of Mr. Eric Kivuva, who is the chair; Mr. Ribin Ondwari, who is the vice chair; Mr. Wycliffe Oyo, who is the secretary; Ms. Irene Kiwol, who is the treasurer; Ms. Caroline Kasoa, who is the representative of the senior lawyers of over 20 years of practice, as well as the fundraising secretary; Ms. Jane Ngoshi, who is the Kiambu County representative; Ms. Barbara Maora, who is the communications secretary; Ms. Motoni Gashara, who is the organizing secretary; Ms. Effie Achieng, who is the welfare secretary; and myself, Mr. Stephen Mundia Mwangi. Part C on council meetings. The branch council met every month in the year 2024 to deliberate on matters of concern to legal practitioners and assess its progress in achieving its agenda. The council meetings of the branch were and still are the forum for exploration of proposals that the council members have regarding the branch and how it should run, guided by its mandates under Section 24 of the LSK Act 2014. Corporate governance statement, attendance of council meetings January to June 2024, and council 2022 to 2024. The previous branch council met on the following dates: 17th January 2024, 14th February 2024, 13th of March 2024, 8th of April 2024, 8th of May 2024, and 5th of June 2024. On members and of the council and attendance of meetings, the same has been outlined in our comprehensive report. Attendance of council meetings between June to December 2024 for the previous branch council met on the following dates: 14th of June 2024, 10th of July 2024, 18th of July, 2nd of August, 21st of August, 18th of September, 16th of October, 19th of November, and 10th of December. Names of council members and their attendance. From the list, all council members attended all the council meetings for the year 2024. Council allowances and reimbursement. Council members received a sitting allowance of Kenya shillings 5,000 for attending council meetings. The current council had special council meetings on the 18th of July and on the 2nd of August 2024. Part D on the branch secretariat. At the start of 2024, the branch secretariat comprised of the programs manager, Ms. Wendy Muganda, 2 program officers, Clement Odinga and Leonora Arwa, 2 program assistants, Carol Kierie and Clifford Ndubi, 1 accounts / HR officer, Madam Grace Muthui, 1 program officer, Simon Abiero, 1 office assistant, Charles Agwata, and 1 intern, Ms. Valentine Ndanu. By the end of 2024, we had new staff on board. Therefore, the current structure is as follows. The programs manager, Wendy Muganda, 3 program officers, Leonora Arwa, Clement Odinga, and Clifford Ndubi, 2 program assistants, Carol Kiari and Simon Abiero, 1 accounts / HR officer, Grace Mothui, 1 office assistant, Charles Agwata, and 2 interns, Valentine Ndanu and Lulu Anjiku. Location: the branch office is located at Lower Hill Duplex, suite number 15, Upper Hill Road, opposite Upper Hill School. Our office contacts are as follows. The telephone number is 0707 256 140, and the email is info@lsknairobi.org. Functions of the Secretariat. The Secretariat is in charge of running the branch programs. Each member of the Secretariat has been assigned specific programs to handle as follows. Wendy Muganda, Council and Secretariat Management, Events Calendar Management, Project Management, Stakeholder Engagement, Commercial Practice, Law Reform and Devolution and Training Programs, Companies Liaison Committee, and Capacity Building for the Secretariat. Clement Odinga and Lulu Anjiku are in charge of the bar bench committees as well as the legal aid and PIL programs. Leonora Arwa, Carol Kiari, and Valentine Ndanu, they are in charge of member services, including mentorship programs, ICT programs, Nairobi Legal Awards, Branch Chairs Caucus, Secretariat, Tax Liaison Committee, events such as quiz nights, sports day, barbecues, Legal Tech Week, among many others. Clifford Ndubi and Simon Abiero are in charge of branch communication, partnerships and stakeholder and public relations. Grace Muthui is in charge of implementing and monitoring financial policies, accounts management, budget management, and the management of all physical and electronic records of the branch and human resource functions. Charles Agwata is in charge of the reception, desk at the office, performs general cleaning, maintains inventory of branch property, and delivers branch correspondence. The interns assist in coordination of the various programs under the supervision of each program officer, as indicated under A, B, C, and D respectively. On communication, the branch updated its members' database in May 2024, significantly enhancing our ability to reach and communicate effectively with all our members. 3.1 on website revamping. The branch website is temporarily unavailable due to a delay from the website developer. We are actively seeking an alternative developer who can meet the agreed upon timelines. We appreciate your patience during this transition. 3.2 on social media. To communicate with members, the branch uses 6 major social media platforms, that is Facebook, X, Instagram, WhatsApp, TikTok, and LinkedIn. On any of all the platforms, frequent posts are made on various branch activities and programs to improve communication with members. The branch has also successfully developed a WhatsApp database for all group administrators of various advocates WhatsApp groups. The branch distributes marketing posters and notices through the WhatsApp broadcast list and WhatsApp channel. On 3.3, bulk email and mailing list, as well as bulk SMS, the branch uses the MailChimp platform to distribute bulk emails simultaneously to all members on our mailing list. The mailing list is regularly and manually updated after each event and new member engagement. 3.4 on the weekly newsletter. The branch newsletter keeps members informed about committee progress and branch activities. We currently send out our weekly newsletters every Friday, with plans to expand it to include a feature section highlighting advocates in different areas of practice. 3.5, Wakili Magazine. The branch published one edition of the Wakili e-magazine in 2024. We plan to resume regular publication of the magazine in 2025. The 8th annual general meeting of Lsk Nairobi Branch. The branch conducted its 8th annual general meeting in the form of a hybrid meeting on the 9th of June 2024 from 10 a.m. at the Golden Tulip Westlands. We used the Zoom platform to accommodate virtual attendees. The meeting began with the secretary reading the notice to convene the meeting. Members observed a moment of silence to pay tribute to departed members. Minutes of the last AGM held on the 30th of June 2023 were confirmed as some members proposed amendments in the minutes. The annual report for the 2023 financial Mic check. Hello, cousins. Yes. Of the last AGM held on the 30th of June 2023 were confirmed as some members proposed amendments to the minutes. The annual report 2023 financial statements and audit report were presented. The minutes of the AGM 2024 will be confirmed by members at the next AGM scheduled for the 13th of June 2025. Thank you, members. Back to you, Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Mundi Mwangi, for that elaborate presentation. I will now invite the branch organizing secretary, Madam Muthoni Gashara, to take us from part E to G. Thank you.
Good afternoon, members. My name is Muthoni Gashara, council member and organizing secretary. I'll be taking you through part E to G of the report. Branch strategic plan for 2017 to 2022. We had a strategic plan which was effective since 2017. The plan is now outdated. We endeavor to formulate another within the year. Vision and mission. The main vision of the branch is to be a premier bar association that advances legal practice and members' welfare. Our mission is to stay committed to advancing a conducive environment that enhances the professional and commercial interests of our members. Core values and pillars. We are guided by responsive relevance and efficiency as our core values in fulfilling our mandates. Our pillars are to engage members and key stakeholders of Nairobi branch in addressing practice and welfare matters and strive to ensure accessible opportunities for active member participation. F, we have the branch engagements with key stakeholders. The branch has key stakeholders who help in various ways to improve practice and member welfare. They are the Law Society of Kenya, the Attorney General's Office, the Director of Public Prosecutions, and the Judiciary. We have a long-standing branch sponsors who are also part. Apologies, I hope you can now hear me clearly. So we have long-standing branch sponsors who are also part of our stakeholders. Furthermore, we have LSK affiliated agencies such as LSK Circle, Advocates Benevolent Association, and other LSK branches with whom we primarily engage through the LSK Council or at Council's direction through the Secretariat. So with the report that has been given to us, we have from number 1 to 47. Allow me to just highlight. So the branch hosted a webinar on opportunities of lawyers in regional economic communities. That is in January. In February, we had a branch collaboration with the Nation Media, that is last year. Media Group hosted a Nation Classic Golf Series, the Legal Minds edition, on the 16th of February 2024. at Royal Nairobi Golf Club. We also had the first coffee talk mentorship in February last year. We also had the first quiz night the same February. In March, we had the Nairobi Legal Awards Women's Soiree, and there was the release of top 50 women lawyers. We also had, in partnership with the Traction School of Governance and Business, there was a webinar series on SG with an emphasis on the G in ESG. That was also in March. In March, we also had the second Coffee Talks mentorship series. In April, we had the first Know Your Tribunal session. We also had the legal aid clinic in April at PCA Unity Parish Moja 2 on 14th April 2024. On the same month, we had the second quiz night. We also, now in May last year, we had a series of apologies. We go to June. So in June, we had the third Know Your Tribunal session. And then we also had the third session of the Coffee Talks. We also had the Purple Ribbon Week, which happened between the 23rd and the 24th of June 2024. We also had the sensitization on emerging issues in climate change and the election for environment and land, which was in partnership with the International Development of Law Organization. The same was a workshop. In July, we had the fourth Know Your Tribunal session. We also had our fourth Coffee Talks mentorship series, and the branch organized a cycling and walking event in Karura in August. In August, we also had our fifth Know Your Tribunal session. In September, we had a virtual court etiquette session that was, we had Justice Jigiti and senior counsel, and also Counsel Ambrose Weda. In September, we also had the cycling and walking events. We also had the sports day in September, on 28th September at Parkland Sports Club, whereby we had our chief guest as Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen. In October, we had our fifth and final Coffee Talks mentorship series. We also had a webinar in collaboration with the Sports Dispute Tribunal that was titled The Wonder Code, Structure and Main Features of Anti-Doping Code, Violations and Sanctions under the Code. In November, the judiciary hosted an event at Milimani Ceremonial Hall titled Introspecting and Reflecting on the Supreme Court Jurisprudence, 12 years of defending the Constitution, which the branch was also invited. On 7th November, the branch chair, Eli Kivuva, joined Milimani High Court Civil Division for the official launch of the Division Sports Users Committee at Milimani Ceremonial Hall. On 3rd December, we had the Milimani Environment and Land Court in collaboration with Lsk Nairobi Branch convene and engage in the Inns of Court session at the ceremonial hall. On 6th December, we had the branch in collaboration with International Development Law Organization conduct a visit at Langata Women's Prison. And finally, we held the Advocates End of Year Party on the 11th December 2024. So go to Part G. We have branch committee engagements. So the branch committee are as follows. So we have the council committees. The branch has 5 main practice committees, which are the Litigation Practice Committee convened by Stephen Mundia and Kinara Rasugu. We have the Social and Welfare Committee convened by Epishila Acheng and Jane Goshi. The Commercial Practice Committee, convened by Irene Kiwal and Zakaria Achapa. The Devolution and Law Reform Committee, convened by Caroline Kasoa and Jane Ngoshi. Branch Legal Aid and Public Interest Litigation Committee, convened by Wycliffe Oyo and Ifishila Acheng. And finally, we have the Senior Bar Committee, convened by Caroline Hasoa and Sindano Gakuru. And number 2, we have the bar bench committees. We have a total of 47. So allow me to just highlight. So since establishment of the branch has constituted and engaged with Nairobi and Kiambu courts in bar bench committees where issues specific to various courts have been discussed and solutions proposed and pursued. The bar bench committees of the branch have the Supreme Bar Bench Committee, convened by our chair, Court of Appeal Bar Bench Committee, convened by the chair, Employment and Labor Relations Court Bar Bench Committee, convened by Ms. Cosima Wetende, Environment and Land Court Bar Bench Committee, convened by Mr. Ezra Makori, High Court Civil Division Bar Bench Committee, convened by Mr. Wilson Mihuri, High Court Criminal Division Bar Bench Committee, convened by Mr. Wakabi Madenge, High Court Judicial Review Division Bar Bench Committee, convened by Mr. Isa Mansour, High Court Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Division Bar Bench Committee, convened by Ms. Paula Achukunda, High Court Family Division Bar Bench Committee, co-convened by Mr. Remigio Mugambi and Ms. Mary Sheila Oduol, High Court Commercial and Tax Division Bar Bench Committee, convened by Ms. Nazima Marik, High Court Constitutional and Human Rights Division Bar Bench Committee, convened by Mr. Haman Omiti, Kibera High Court Bar Bench Committee, Court Annexed Mediation Bar Bench Committee, convened by Ms. Angela Madubo, Chief Magistrate Milimani Commercial Court Bar Bench Committee, convened by Ms. Paula Juguna, Chief Magistrate Kibera Law Courts Bar Bench Committee. Then we have JKIA Law Court Bar Bench Committee, Kahawa Law Court Bar Bench Committee, Makadara Law Court Bar Bench Committee, Nairobi Kalis Court Bar Bench Committee, co-convened by Mr. Ari Mahmood and Ms. Leila Ahmed. Milimani Small Claims Court Bar Bench Committee, convened by Mr. Kennedy Ochieng. Nairobi Children's Court Bar Bench Committee, convened by Ms. Mary Sheila Oduol. Nairobi City County Court Bar Bench Committee, Chief Magistrate Milimani Criminal Court Bar Bench Committee, Chief Magistrate Milimani Family Court, convened by Ms. Lynn Nganga. Wajir Law Court Bar Bench Committee, Chief Magistrate Anti-Corruption Court Bar Bench Committee, and finally we have the Goreti Law Court Bar Bench Committee. Then we number 3 is the tribunal committees. We have the tribunal committees as follows: the Nairobi Environment Tribunal Committee, the Land Transaction Tribunal Committee, the Business Premises Rent Tribunal Committees, the Cooperative Tribunal Committees, convened by Mr. Gitonga Muriuki, Public Procurement and Assets Disposal Tribunal Committee, Political Parties Dispute Tribunal Committee, convened by Ms. Harriet Joaquim Boshe, Sports Dispute Tribunal Committee, co-convened by Ms. Mercy Okiro and Mr. Edward Rombo. We have number 4, the liaison committees. The branch has liaison committees specifically for the company's registry and the Nairobi land registries and specific commercial practices areas to bring together lawyers with similar interests. These are ICT and IP liaison committees, convened by Barbara Maora, Tax Liaison Committee, convened by Wycliffe Oyo, Environment and Land Liaison Committee, convened by Irene Tuwal, Nairobi Companies Registry Liaison Committee, convened by Barbara Maora. And finally, we have the special committees. The special committees are set up by the branch include Award Committee, convened by Senior Counsel Charles Kanjama, Internal Dispute Resolution Committee convened by Chair Lsk Nairobi, Lawyer Police Relations Committee convened by Efi Sheila Acheng and Jen Goshi, Emerging Practice Areas Committee convened by Chair Lsk Nairobi and Caroline Kaspawa. Regular communication of committee progress is issued to members via branch weekly newsletter, and committee progress is updated on branch social media pages and weekly newsletter. So from page 42 to 72 highlights all those committees that are there, their meetings and dates, and the achievements of the committees. Thank you, members, for listening.
Thank you very much, Madam Organizing Secretary. I'll now invite my Vice Chair to take us through part H, 1 to 2.
Thank you very much, Chair. Good afternoon, members. So among the branch programs, we have a number of programs. I'm going to deal with the bar bench program and the commercial practice program. The branch continually addresses challenges arising in the course of legal practice through the bar bench committees and court users committees. These platforms have proven highly effective, fostering direct and constructive interactions between the bar and the bench. A number of the critical activities have been highlighted previously in the report. Members can go through in detail, but even as we give this report, we are encouraging members to make time for the bar bench and court users committee to enable all the issues that you face in practice to be dealt with real time with the courts. On the second aspect, on commercial practice program, this is a program that is executed through various committees. We have the tax liaison, we have the companies liaison, we have the lands liaison, and ICT IP liaison committees. These committees meet at least once a quarter. It's worth noting that the program has led to the establishment of other programs such as the Legal Tech and Innovation Program. It's worth noting that this is an annual program that already happens. The ones for this year has already happened. So members who are keen on Legal Tech and Innovation Week, we send an early invitation for you to work with us on next year's Legal Tech and Innovation Week. This actually had emanated from the need to embrace the growing field of legal and technological advancement. So under the Commercial Practice Liaison Committee meetings, we've managed to have consistent meetings with the company's registries. However, we are still pushing for more regular engagements with the lands registries. We also have been having regular engagements with the Kenya Revenue Authority for the Tax Liaison Committee. So we also have the committee meetings. The Commercial Practice Committee, in view of the wide and extensive nature of the commercial practice, a number of subcommittees were set out so as to reflect the nature of these committees in the practice area. And these subcommittees include finance and insolvency, projects and infrastructure, mergers and acquisition, capital markets and private equity, and stakeholder engagements. At this point also, we encourage our transactional lawyers who are members to make time to join these committees so as to have a true reflection of the nature of practice. We know these are now very vibrant practice areas, and if we could have members join these committees so as we together help to shape the discussions in the respective aforementioned areas of laws and to facilitate capacity building to ensure a more effective and smoothless engagement on those areas. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. I now invite Madam Efi Sheila to take us through H, part 2 to 3.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Efi Sheila again. I convene the Social Welfare Committee. I will take us through Social and Welfare Program. Welfare Initiatives. The Internal Dispute Resolution Committee. This committee has not been active since 2020, with no complaint being filed at the branch. Members' savings and investment. The branch, in partnership with the LSK Circle, has improved members' welfare through the increase of membership to the SACCO. We continue to urge members to register with the SACCO and firms to apply a check-off system as an incentive to their employees. Improvement of lawyer-police relations. Due to unforeseen circumstances, we have not met with the Director of Criminal Investigations to discuss the draft lawyer-police guidelines that have been pending since 2018. However, the branch has been responsive in reaching out to members who have been harassed by the police in their line of duty. Branch partnerships. Partnership with LSK SACCO. This is a partnership to promote the financial well-being of our members. Partnership with Haki FM. This partnership provides our members a platform to educate the public regarding legal issues. Partnerships with Mega Health Insurance Brokers. This is a partnership to provide professional indemnity solution to our members. Social initiatives. Golf tournament. The branch held a golf tournament in collaboration with the Business Daily entitled Legal Minds Golf on the 16th of February at Royal Nairobi Golf Club. The tournament was attended by 240 players. The purpose of Lsk Nairobi Branch Advocates Golf Tournament was primarily to increase opportunities for lawyers through publicity, to encourage interaction between members regardless of status and seniority, to increase membership renewal as the year begins, for publicity and to create awareness regarding the branch activities, to ensure members receive the unique opportunity to learn the sport of golf. Number 5, to encourage healthy living, networking, and competition. Quiz nights. The branch holds quiz nights regularly. Quiz nights are a social and interactive event meant to foster interrelations among lawyers as well as provide networking opportunities. The branch hosted a quiz night on the 16th of February 2024 at Westies Lounge. Attendee survey. The event was well attended by advocates from various law firms and organizations. A number of 34 teams participated in the quiz night, with the first team going to Team Tequila Mockingbird, and the second place to Team Focus, and third place to Team Questionable Decisions. Opening remarks and closing remarks. The event began with welcoming remarks from the branch secretary, Stephen Bugwa. In the final remarks, the Vice Chair, Elizabeth Wanjiru, welcomed attendees and gave candidates contending for various positions at LSK National Office the opportunity to introduce themselves to the members in attendance. The conclusion is that the quiz night was a success. Lsk Nairobi Branch Sports Day. The branch organized for its annual Sports Day event on the September 28, 2024 at Parkland Sports Club. The event began at 8 a.m. with more members attending later in the day. The Sports Day themed Work Hard, Play Harder, the law of sports, was to encourage lawyers to work diligently in their careers while also prioritizing physical activity and sports as a means to maintain a healthy and balanced lifestyle. The theme also highlighted the significance of striking a balance between attention to one's profession and the need for recreational time through sports. Attendee survey of the Sports Day. Participants had the opportunity to participate in team events, individual or team events. Team events included football, basketball, while individual events included swimming, table tennis, lawn tennis, chess, Scrabble, athletics, squash, dart, and eating competition. The event was well attended with good representation from law firms, companies, organizations, and affiliate bodies. There was also a good number of attendance from our members. There were 26 teams of football in attendance. The teams represented were Omai and Allen, Lesim Konjoroge, LSK Sako, Nyaga Mugisha, Mohamed Madani, Kuson Hani, Hika Chapter, National Assembly, Moma and Kanjama, Mount Kenya Law, Mombasa Law Society, KNA Associates, CM Associates, Team Eric Temuri, Emerging Law Firms, Young Wakil Kamaloka, ODPP, GMR Advocates, that's Kikenyi Muko, Senaji and Associates, Senate, Karanja Njega Advocates, TW Advocates, Vakils, Robson Harrison, KU School of Law, and Lsk Nairobi Branch. There are also 4 teams in basketball. They are represented by emerging lawyers, Mukunga Wadhome and Company, Senate, and Team Mashtaka. The event program. In his opening remarks, Mr. Kivuva, the chair of the branch, emphasized the importance of maintaining a balanced and healthy lifestyle. Honorable Moses Seren, the Registrar of the Court of Appeal, and Mr. Jeremiah Ngenye, Senate Clerk, were among the guests in attendance. Cabinet Secretary for Youth Affairs, Creative Economy and Sports, then Honorable Kipchumba Murkomen, was the event's chief guest. The CS formally launched Sports Day with his opening remarks underlining the importance of camaraderie and team spirit. Then we have a paragraph that indicates who were the winners and who was awarded as a runner-up. I think members can see that we do not have to go through that. The conclusion is that the Sports Day was a success, but with some areas for improvement. With the implementation of some of the feedback received and others that have arisen over time, improvements can be made for future Sports Day. Advocates End of Year Party. The Branch Council organized an Advocates End of Year Party on the 11th of December 2024, which brings together advocates to celebrate achievements and to usher in the festive season. Last year's event was held at Quiver Steakhouse, Milimani Road. The event began at 4 p.m. with more members attending later in the evening. The attendee survey. There was a good number of attendees. There were 752 members in attendance. The event program. The end of year party kicked off with welcoming remarks from council members of the branch, followed by the chair, who officially opened the event. The event also included various activities such as pool competition. The conclusion is that the end of year party was a resounding success. Mentorship program. In keeping with its mandate, the branch runs a mentorship program aimed at elevating some of the challenges faced by young lawyers by providing an avenue through which the younger lawyers can tap into the wisdom of their seniors. Currently, mentorship program incorporates both one-on-one mentorship sessions and quarterly mentorship forums. The two-pronged approach ensures a wider reach to the target group by way of diversifying the methods through which mentorship can be offered. One-on-one mentorship sessions offer a more personal approach, while the mentorship forums present an opportunity to address a larger group of lawyers in an interactive setting. However, the program is not limited to mentoring young lawyers only. We also have advocates with more years in practice attend the session on different aspects of law practice, advertising and marketing of law firms, building networks, etc. The branch held a mentorship forum on the 25th of April at the Lawyers Hub. The topic of the day was career success, a shifting goalpost. The speakers were Honorable Retired Justice J.B. Ojwang Jackton, Alice Ondieki, William Maema, and Jackie Oyuyo. Coffee Talk Mentorship Series. The Coffee Talk series is designed to incorporate aspects of one-on-one mentorship as well as the mentorship forums hosted on virtual platform. The series entails informal conversations between mentors and mentees about various topics including legal practice and life in general. Each series has 5 mentors who are assigned different breakout sessions in the virtual platform. Each mentor has a maximum of 8 mentees in the room and engage in an informal discussion of the topic of the day. In 2024, the branch held a total of 6 sessions from 15th February on job security versus job satisfaction, 21st March on job mobility, when to make the move, 20th June on mastering organizational politics, managing the up and down and arounds, and on 25th July on navigating ethical dilemmas in the face of economic pressures. On 19th September, the mentorship Coffee Talk series was on imposter syndrome, challenging the imposter beliefs. And finally, on 17th October, the session was on adapting to changes in your career goals. Law Reform and Devolution Program. Committee meetings. The council engaged the speakers of the National Assembly, Kiambu County Assembly, and the governor of Nairobi County, and agreed to participate in review of bills during council term 2022 to 2024, review of legislation and devolution matters. The committee is in the process of identifying relevant statutes and memoranda to be submitted for pending bills. Nairobi Legal Awards Program.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary of the Welfare Committee. I now invite the Branch Communication Secretary, Ms. Barbara Moora, to take us through part 6.
All right, good afternoon, members. I hope I will keep it brief. This is a report of the MLA program. We'll start with the MLA, a summary of our achievements and our activities, which includes the award cycle, the gala, and the post-event publications. So the purpose of this report is to offer transparency into how the trust operates. So one is MLA stakeholders of 2024. Our current trustees as of 2024 were Charles Kanjama, who was the chair, Jacqueline Manani, who was the vice chair, Eric Iwa, who was the branch chair, Gad Gathu, who was treasurer, Buta Siganga, senior counsel, Modoni Gashara, council representative, and Dinda Kimili. Our technical committee is comprised of Anne Othiambo as chairperson, Gad Gathu Kirago, Elizabeth Wanjiru, myself, Charles Owiti, Dinda Kimili, Rubin Ondwari, and Jane Goshi. The jury for 2024 was Diana Sawe, who served as chair, Honorable Justice Lenaola, Jacqueline Manani, Charles Kanjama, Senior Counsel John Mohammed, Nelson Ashtiva, and Brancher Eric Ibuma. The College of Assessors was comprised of Moses Kulgat, Sanjay, Joyce Njeri, Shadrach Mwinzi, Sian Rapai, Gladys Matunda, Faith Ono, Innocent Rusungu, Winnie Kiru, Jared Omari, Claire Wanjiku, Jared Mugendi, Kenneth Kirimi, Caroline Janja, Charles Owiti, Ibrahim Kito, Milka Gidinji, Catherine Mutungi, Linda Mwihaki, Sawiri Mwangi, Pauline Kimunya, Frederick Kahara, Valerie Kasayen, Levi Sobunga, Elizabeth Kirago, Frederick Njihia Kahara, Felix Othiambo, and Mugambi Maingi. The secretariat was comprised of Yatich Faith as a program officer, Emily Gatwiri, Ebenezer Motisia, Wangari Faith, Barack Ojuma, David Ndomo, Wendy Gatuba, Gadurima, and Leonora Arwa. So our stakeholders engagement for the year of the MLA 2024 cycle included one, the trust meetings. The trust meetings are scheduled for every third Tuesday every month, and the trust conducted a total of 13 stakeholder meetings comprising 10 ordinary meetings and 3 special meetings. All were conducted virtually. Technical committee meetings. The technical committees were held on the second of every Tuesday of every month. The committees held a total of 11 virtual meetings during the period, reporting period, 8 being ordinary and 5 special sit. College of Assessors training. The College of Assessors conducted 2 training sessions during the year. The sessions were moderated by the trust chair in coordination with the jury chair and the previous principal category assessor and the secretariat. There were a total of 44 assessors who were trained. The sessions aimed to enhance their skills and knowledge of assessors, ensuring a fair and rigorous assessment of nominees. The virtual format allowed assessors to also engage in continuous learning, promoting excellence in their roles. Then we had jury deliberations. The jury demonstrated a commitment through thorough evaluation, conducting the sessions with an average of 5 attendees in each session. 8 sessions were held over 8 days, beginning on Wednesday, 17th October 2024 to Friday, 22nd of October 2024, accumulating about 29 hours of discussion and deliberation. Then we had the secretariat meetings. These were convened as frequently to streamline operations and ensure smooth execution of the trustees' activities. The internal meetings facilitated coordination, communication, strategic planning, reinforcing efficiency of the secretariat in supporting the trust's overarching goals. We also had the NLA outreach events of 2024. So in fulfillment of its mandate, the trust organizes various outreach programs. designed to cater to specified classes within the legal community. This year's calendar showcased an unprecedented level of activity with 4 events. One was the NLA Women's Soiree. The trust recognized the invaluable contribution of women in the legal profession by hosting Women's Soiree. This year's marked in 2024 was the 3rd edition of the Soiree and provides a platform for networking, mentorship, and celebration of achievements of women within the legal industry. The general overview of the Soiree was as follows. So the theme, it was held on 15th of March of 2024. The theme was Guardians of Integrity, Women Impact on Ethical Practice. The objectives of the event were to recognize and celebrate women making impeccable strides in the legal field and business, to learn from the experience of the forerunners and the best practices in business and law, to provide a platform for professional women to network, mentor one another, and share the feminine experience in the professional world to help each other navigate the murky waters of the corporate world, and to create awareness of the NLA and encourage participation from women as nominees. So the details of the event as provided. Then the event was characterized by unveiling the top 50 women lawyers in Kenya. The post-event activities, the Secretariat embarked on the following activities as a means of harnessing the achievements of the event and showcasing NLA Soiree 2024 activities. One is created a collage and shared it on our socials and prepared an article on the Soiree, shared within the Lsk National Office and the branch for publication. We also had the NLA Advocates Barbecue. The barbecue served as a dynamic gathering, bringing together advocates in a relaxed and convivial setting. The event fostered camaraderie and provides an opportunity for advocates to connect beyond the formalities of the legal arena, fostering a sense of community among the legal profession. So the summary of the event was as follows. The third was the in-house council caucus. So due to unavoidable circumstances, unfortunately, the NLA in-house caucus of 2024 was cancelled. Then there were the webinars. The Trust Digital Landscape continued to flourish in 2024 with a successful of 2 engaging webinars. This platform, designed to facilitate knowledge sharing and foster discussion, evolved into a key component of the outreach initiatives. The overview of the webinar is as follows. Webinar 1, which was held on 28th of February 2024, the Balancing the Skills, Work-Life Harmony in the Legal Profession. The details are listed. Then the second webinar was held on the 22nd of August 2024, Upholding Integrity in the Modern Legal Practice. So the objectives again as listed. Then we had the award cycle of 2024. So the award selection, the award cycle was according to as laid out by in the report. The theme each year, the first exercise carried out by the trustee with respect to the award cycle is the selection of the theme. The selection of a theme is deliberate and resonates with the values of the trust. The trustees were given a selection of 10 proposals and agreed to dub this year's edition to Wadilifu edition. This theme holds a significant symbolic weight and embodies the spirit of integrity, ethics, professionalism, and the visions, values, and virtues within the legal community. The theme sets the tone for the year, serving as a guide to the outreach events, topics, assessment, and jury process, and even in the event planning. Then we have the revision of tools. So this is consistent of traditional annual review and improvement of the trust. Conducted a thorough revision of its assessment tools. The trust sought to enhance the tools to ensure that they were both user-friendly and category-specific. So the successes of the revision exercise were 1, to enhance specificity. The revision process focused on tailoring the tools to specific requirements of each practice area, eliminating generalized and unnecessary questions, and ensuring assessment parameters were fine-tuned to address the unique aspects of each practice area. Then there was alignment with the theme, which ensured that the tools align with the Adolifu edition theme, with specific questions requiring the nominees to outline the virtues and values that make them Wadilifu advocates. Then the scoring guidelines were prior to the revision of tools. The trust reviewed specific scoring guidelines for each individual category, and these guidelines are crafted to ensure uniformity, objectivity, and a standardized approach in the assessment and scoring process. Then there was a College of Assessors. One was the recruitment of the assessors. So the process of recruiting new assessors was concluded with a strategic approach to ensure the inclusion of seasoned advocates. The trust leveraged the reach of social media platforms in the branch newsletter to disseminate the call for assessors, and the response was overwhelming, with 44 advocates expressing their interest in becoming assessors. We also had adequate number of senior assessors ever onboarded, and the recruitment process was a resounding success. Then it's followed by the training sessions and appointment of the principal category assessors. Then the training sessions for the assessors college served as a crucial component in preparing the assessors for the evaluation process. 2 trainings were conducted, as had been previously mentioned, and the trainings were designed not only to impart essential knowledge but foster a sense of cohesion and shared understanding among the assessors. Then there's the launch of awards cycle. The launch of the awards cycle 2024 was marked by the call for nominations on Tuesday, 18th June 2024, for Phase 1 categories, and Phase 2 on Friday, the 2nd of August 2024. Calls were issued through a Google form link, and formalization flyers distributed via the NLA social media platform. Standalone letters from the LSK at both the national level and the Nairobi branch level. Members of the public were invited to submit nomination across the following 18 categories as provided in paragraph 4.33. The Young Lawyers of the Year received the highest number of tools, returned at 16, followed by the Law Teacher of the Year at 14. Steve Kohler's nomination played significant role, contributing to 148 of the nominations. The tools rate return is calculated based on the number of tools returned via the total nominations. So the overall total return was 30.99, an improvement from the previous year at 26.85. Although 5 in-house private sector law of the year's tools returned tools, 4 of them were interviewed and considered for the award. 1 nominee could not find time for the interview with the assessment window for impromptu work reasons. Then there is the documentary review. Having been nominated as eligible nominees were asked to fill a self-evaluation tool and return within a stipulated timeline. Upon receipt of the self-evaluation tool, we asked the principal category assessors to peruse the documents submitted by nominees, applying their expertise to discern the depth of submission presented and identify the final candidates to proceed to the interview stage. Not all categories underwent this stage due to the low number of nominees returning the tools in these categories, and the shortlisting was as outlined there. Then followed by physical interviews. Phase 1 of the physical interviews were conducted in a centralized place with the assessment teams situated at INM House Upper Hill, utilizing, the nominees of the same category were also scheduled for a follow-up interview. Then the outcome is that it identified the top 5 in each category. Only the names of the top 5 in each category were submitted to the jury for deliberation and final ranking. Then it was followed by scheduling. So for physical interviews to take place, the secretary needed to harmonize the schedules of both the nominees and the assessors to undertake the interview process. It is noteworthy with commendation for collaborative efforts, the Secretariat and the College of Assessors. Then there's the assessors' hospitality because of the activities that are prescribed. We were able to accommodate them and facilitate the process of the assessment. All assessors' travel costs were refunded, guest travel appreciated, and some assessors even voluntarily waived their right to transport cost refunds, and demonstrating their enhanced sense of inclusion in the evaluation process. So phase 2 is outlined on page 83 and 84. just as the first process. Then we go to NLA Gala and award ceremony. Okay, so the NLA Gala and award ceremony happened on the 22nd of November 2024, held at Safari Park Hotel and Casino, and we had 445 attendees. And our guest of honor was Honorable Daniel Musinga, who's the President of the Court of Appeal, and Mr. Arthur Oginga, the CEO of Old Mutual East Africa. So for pre-event activities, I encourage members to go through items 5.21. 5.3 is also on service providers, which I encourage members to also review. Post-gala events is 5.4, which I also encourage members to go through. Then we had the 6th being the post-awards publications. So we published the finalists for the awards as were recognized. 6.2, 6.3, 6.4, and 6.5. I encourage members to also appraise themselves as of the reports and the publications made. Then we go to 7, publicity and communications that happened in 2024. So I will highlight them. The success of the NLA Trust is not only defined by the annual gala, but also by continuous efforts in publicity and communication throughout the year. So 7.1 is social media presence. The Trust maintained an active social media pages, providing regular updates, highlights, and engaging content related to its activities. 7.2 is onboarding of an in-house graphic designer. So to further enhance the efficiency and quality of our communication and promotional material, the NLA Trust took a strategic step and onboarded an in-house graphic designer. 7.3 is the SMS Leopard. So in 2024, the Trust was allocated a budget to purchase an SMS Leopard account, which was used to maintain communication with nominees and other stakeholders. 7.4 was the regular newsletters that went out through the branch weekly newsletters. And in conclusion, the NLA Trust is a committed, transparent, effective, and engaging communication by leveraging various platforms and maintaining an open dialogue with stakeholders. The Trust aims to continue to foster a strong and supportive legal community while continually enhancing its impact, relevance, and legal landscape. Then the Legal Tech and Innovation Program. So the branch with the ICT and IP Liaison Committee set up the Legal Tech and Innovation Week in a bid to address the challenges noted within the legal tech practice in Nairobi and Kiambu counties to promote the protection of intellectual property rights and spy innovation. This was the 3rd edition with the theme Kenya's embrace of legal technologies associated with anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism financing risk, which was held at the Radisson Blue Hotel and at Milimani Law Court from 25th to 27th of March 2024. So the attendee survey was a good number of attendances at day 1 of Radisson Blue Hotel with 80 participants. Day 2 and 3 and 4 had 40 participants each day. We cannot forget to mention the sponsors for that year. Those were Altisasa Platform, Infinite Solutions, Diara University, Kiari, and Kenya Law. For the events program, I request members to go through that. And the conclusion is that the Legal Tech Week was accepted.
Thank you very much, Madam Communication Secretary. I know it was a lengthy part and it was not easy. At this juncture, allow me to now bring on board Mr. Shadrach Omondi, the in-house counsel representative, to take us through Part H, section number 9. Mr. Shadrach Omondi. Proceed. Shadrach, you can proceed.
Confirm you can hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Please proceed.
My name is Omori Shadrach, the in-house counsel representative, and I also convene lawyer police relations committee. I will take members to Part 9, Legal Aid and Public Interest Litigation Program. The mandate of the Legal Aid and Public Interest Litigation Committee of the Lsk Nairobi Branch is to organize and provide legal aid to members of the public within the jurisdiction of the branch, educate the public on current legal issues, and institute public interest litigation suits. In 2024, the committee undertook the following activities. So the first activity was Purple Ribbon Week, and that was done on Monday, 24th June 2024 at All Saints Cathedral and Minimani Law Court, attended by 120 members. And then members can go through the report and see the activities that you undertook, including the survey that was done and the SWOT analysis. The only thing we could do here is to acknowledge, do acknowledgements, and Lsk Nairobi Branch extends its heartfelt gratitude to all partners, donors, and individuals who contributed to the success of the Purple Ribbon Week 2024. Special thanks goes to advocates, judiciary staff, staff of the International Justice Mission, university and KSL students, Law Society of Kenya Council members, KBC reps, families of deceased advocates, the council members of the secretariat, civil society organizations, and members of the public. Your unwavering support and commitment made this event a success. Part 5, we do activity highlights. That one members can go through. In conclusion, therefore, the success of the Purple Ribbon Week 2024 is attributed to the overwhelming support from partners, stakeholders, the broader community. We extend our gratitude to the Lsk Nairobi Branch Council and Secretariat for their invaluable efforts. Through this event, we have honored deceased advocates, promoted a safer working environment for legal practitioners, and encouraged greater engagement in pro bono work. We look forward to continuing our mission of upholding justice and human rights and the rule of law in Kenya. Part B is on legal aid clinic at the PCA Unity Church, Umoja 2. On 14th April 2024, the Lsk branch JPRC committee organized a legal aid clinic at PCA Unity Parish, Umoja 2, to sensitize the congregants and the public on legal matters. You will see our objectives there, our attendee survey, and the legal aid session covered the following: personal injury accidents, robbery with violence, land disputes, taxation, enforcement of contracts and agreements, ADR, malicious prosecution, nuisance, obtaining, landlord-tenant disputes, matrimonial property, debt recovery, property disputes, and child maintenance. In conclusion, the PCA Umoja 2 legal clinic was a huge success. We sincerely thank the church leaders, organizers, partners, advocates, congregants, and the branch for their invaluable support. Part C is on LSK Legal Awareness Week 2024. The Law Society of Kenya Nairobi Branch joined LSK for the official launch of the Legal Awareness Week at Limani Law Court parking yard. The event was graced by the branch council members, Justice Eric Ogola, Principal Judge, High Court, Professor Kibuta Kibwana, who was the keynote speaker, and members of the public drawn from various walks of life. So the theme for the event was Laws for the People, by the people, empowering citizen participation. The rest of the details, members can go through them. And then Part D, we had the Langata Women's Prison Visit, which happened on Friday, the 6th of December 2024, at the Langata Women's Prison. The advocates led by Wycliffe Fuyo, council member, actively engaged the remandees addressing their legal concerns. During the visit, remandees raised several questions and concerns of various legal and procedural matters, including pro bono advocates, plea bargain agreements, probation reports, conduct of JOs, conversion of state witnesses, community service orders, House of Property upon arrest, mitigation during sentencing, and effective charge sheet. The rest of the matters members can go through. In conclusion, therefore, the Langata Women Prison visit underscored the importance of collaboration and compassion in addressing legal and social issues within the community. The branch extends its gratitude to all advocates and members who participated and contributed to the success of this event. I want to thank you, Chair, and thank the members. And there are some members who are still within the lobby, and they could be admitted. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bwana Shadrach, for that very well summarized brief. I'd now like to welcome senior member to take us through part I of the report. Try your best to summarize.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, members. My portion is to take you through I and J of the report, and I can see I. It's a reflection of the branch elections, which I think all of you know, your council members, and I'll not have to belabor. There, as stated here, Barbara Mwaura, Eric Kivuva, Chair, Ribin Odwari, Vice Chair, Weekly for You, Council Member and Secretary, Irene Kiwul, Council Member and Treasurer, Caroline Hassoa, Senior Lawyer of over 20 years, Shadrach Omondi, In-House Representative, Jane Goshi, Kiampu Representative, Barbara Maura, Council Member, Mudoni Gashara, Council Member and Organizing Secretary, and Barbara, Council Member and Communication Secretary, Stephen Mundia, Council Member, Efishila, Council Member and Welfare Secretary. My other responsibility is to go through the challenges and measures to resolve them. The key being member participation, which is both our strength and a challenge. We thank members for showing the branch support. The participation has improved. Member subscription has improved to 243,000. And definitely there is room for improvement since we are 15,000. The revenue from the member subscriptions has facilitated some branch activities, and the voluntary amount is 1,500. The branch is currently allowed one CPD point for the branch AGM, and on fundraising activities, the branch's key sources of income come from the Law Society of Kenya National Office, which includes the annual grant, the devolution fund, and the equalization fund. We also raise income from activities and events organized, and member subscriptions and donations. The current council of 2024-2026 established a fundraising committee, which is to spearhead fundraising efforts for the branch. The committee is convened by Caroline Hassoa and has members Irene Kiwul, Barbara Mwaura, and Stephen Mundia. The committee has done fundraising mapping and medium-term strategy, which is the work plan for 2024-2026. The proposed mapping has given the ranges of law firms into Tier 1, Tier 2, and Tier 3, whereby we have large, medium, and small law firms. The following proposals were made. Courtesy calls to be done to law firms to explain the agenda and work plan of the branch. It was also recommended that both physical and virtual meetings be embraced so that you can outlay time and reach wider people. To augment the mentorship program and share our calendar of activities with our members and law firms. And we have started well and various emails to law firms such as Bowmans, Anjanwala, Kana, Oraro, Walker Contos, Wamaya and Alan, IKM, MMC Asafo, and others have been sent. And the feedback from the law firms has been very warm. The first courtesy call for Tier 1 law firm was done to Bowmans, and this was graced by the chair, vice chair, and convener of the
fundraising committee. From the Bowman side, the managing partner Paras Shah and advocate Shiru Logaden were present. The Bowman's side agreed to fully support the branch in the above knowledge management flagship program for professional influence by committing to voluntarily pay for all advocates in their law firm a membership fee for January 2025. Below is a list of things that were agreed upon: corporate governance of council and the secretariat to improve their performance, wellness trainings for members, youth program mentorship. They also agreed to train the council, the secretariat, and other key performance areas and improvement of service delivery using their conference room since the branch has no conference room, as you can rightly see here. It is the fundraising strategy of the committee to also request for a conference room resources from our members, our tier 1, 2, 3 law firms and partners like the DPP Academy and the JTI Institute. This will be initiated in the year 2025. The progress visit from the Bowman's, the progress from Bowman's visit is that membership subscription of 95 lawyers was paid and lapel pins delivered by the branch to the law firm. This was 142,500. If all law firms would pay, the branch would really grow in delivery. The corporate governance training to be confirmed in 2025. The conveyance practice concerns feedback link was also shared with the law firm for the branch to continue to pursue. The training of branch communication staff and revamping of the newsletter to become more relevant and improve communication will be done in 2025. And the training areas which were agreed with Bowman's and other law firms is 1, anti-money laundering, laws and compliance, communication strategy, public-private partnerships, legal tech and AI, joint panels with other law firms, county attorneys training programs on PPPs, mergers and acquisitions, project finance, and other areas emerging. We continue to request members to give donations that could be used to facilitate the implementation of our programs. We appreciate all sponsors for the support received in 2024. LSK branch would like to express their sincere gratitude to all Nairobi and Kiambu County practitioners and law firms for their support and participation in branch activities. We especially recognize the following firms and organizations that have supported the branch in furthering its activities. That is Bowman's, LSK Sacco, McKay, Daniel Gashau, Kaplan and Stratton, Chartered Institute of Arbitrators, Mega Health, Irene Kiwul, purchase of the camera, LSK National Office, Robson Harris, Jubilee Health, Britam Insurance, and Kieti Law. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Senior Member, Madam Caroline Kasol. I'd now like to invite the representative for Kiambu County, Madam Jane Goshi, to take us through the chapter reports.
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, members. So the chapter reports comprise of Thika chapter and Kiambu chapter. I'm just going to give a summary of the year 2024. So on the 9th of March 2024, there was a council meeting that was held at Eaton Hotel, Paleon Hotel. Members present were Daniel Gashau, the chair, Jacqueline Wanjiru, the vice, Rosemary, Rose Kirori, Grace Kiwara, Patrick Kono, Elias Gitari, Esther Kinya, and Francis Moira. The members discussed Chairman's report, the High Court Bar Bench and CUCs that had been held on the 13th and 14th of March in the review of the year 2023. So the year 2023 review was on the establishment of the Thika High Court, which was formally established on the 25th October 2023, which is a good and great milestone for Kiambu. The Small Claims Court, Ruiru, which was established in 2023, construction of Kamwangi Law Courts, the launch of a filing in Kiambu County. The chapter honored Karuga Wandai for his 50 years of practice. So the kind of events, they agreed on the kind of events, and it was agreed that there would be elections for the new council in line with the charter. And they also agreed that the previous elections committee would be conducted to oversee, elections committee would conduct and oversee the forthcoming chapter elections. There was also the Gatundu Law Courts Open Day that was held on the 21st of March 2024. The chairman was invited by the Gatundu Law Courts for its open day, and the event was held at the newly built Kamwangi Law Courts. The LSK chair was the guest of honor. The LSK chapter chair was the LSK guest of honor. The event was also graced by Honorable Elijah Kururia, and the Gatundu North CDF built the Kamwangi Law Courts. The Ruiru Law Courts also held an open day and celebration of its 5 years in existence on the 4th of April 2024. The chairman was also invited for that open day, for that celebration. And it was glorious, and it was graced by the Justice Mushami, the PG, Thika High Court. Lsk Thika Chapter Council meeting held a council meeting on the 21st of June 2024 at Eaton Hotel. Members present: Daniel Gashau, Jacqueline Njiri, Rose Kiruri, Grace Kiwara, Patrick Kono, Elias Gitari, and Esther Kiminjui, and Francis Moura. So they discussed, amongst other issues, the job description of the secretariat and the elections for the 2024-2026 year, and the Kiambu representatives reports. Members agreed that the following members would make up the elections committee: Sina Njoroge Kubwa, Jihad Magani, Karen Joshua, and Jesse Karaoke, and Nambura Njuguna, and Wakawa Mbugwa. The dates of the elections were set. So there was also a final council meeting held on the 19th of July 2024. The members present were as previously read, and they also discussed the chairman's report and the reading of the financial statement for the year 2023. They also discussed the establishment of the High Court of Kiambu, establishment of the Small Claims, Kamwangi Court, e-filing in Kiambu, and recognition of chapters member serving in the National Council. That is Lsk National Council member Stephen Wanjiru Mbugwa, who had been elected as the Nairobi rep. The chairman also took that opportunity to thank the members for their cooperation they had accorded to him during his tenure. And also the chair then invited the auditor to read through the financial report of the chapter. It was agreed that the auditor would prepare the final and detailed statement for the AGM. And then the activity calendar for the year 2024, the council resolved that the campaigns for the scheduled chapter elections would close on the 24th of July 2024, and the AGM would be held 21 days after the election on the 16th of August 2024. So the elections were held on the 2nd of August 2024 at Thika and Ruiru Law Courts. And the people who emerged as victors are Jacqueline Wanjiru, the current chair, present today; Martin Kuria, the vice chair; Patrick Kono, the secretary; Francis Moura, the vice secretary; Esther Kirigo, treasurer; Elias Gitari, Gatundu rep; Joseph Getiha, Ruiru rep; Grace Kiwara, Juja rep; and Philip Bashiri, the Thika rep. So the council meeting, there was also a council meeting held on the 23rd of August 2024 at Eaton. Members present were Daniel Gashau and his council. So the LSK also held the annual general meeting on the 30th of August 2024. And the agenda of the meeting is the and presentation of financial statements and auditors report, reading of minutes of the SGM held on the 16th of June 2023, and the same read in on the March Council. Members present: Jackie Mwangi, Martin Koya, Patrick Kumu, Francis Maura Kirigo, Joseph Gitiha, Kiwara, Philip Gesheru, and they discussed the Legal Awareness Week for the year 2024 and revised their calendar of events and how to sustain the fight against masqueraders. So the council, they also held a council meeting on the 22nd of October at Eton. Madam Jacqueline Kenyanjui, Jacqueline Mwangi chaired the meeting. Her council members were present, and they deliberated on various committees within the chapter and the frequency of the council meetings. There was also their contribution at the Lsk Nairobi Branch Sports Day that was to be held at Parkland Sports Club, and they fronted a team. There was also the Lsk Legal Awareness Week. It was held on the 28th of October 2024 to 1st November 2024, and they participated at Thika Law Courts, Kamwangi, Gatundu, and Ruiru Law Courts. The week was a success, and there was a huge turnout of members of the public. So they also held a meeting on the 8th of November, and they had a post-mortem on the just concluded legal awareness, and also discussed the CSR activity that was to be held at Thika prisons on the 15th of November 2024, and the official launch of Kamwangi Law Courts, the Law Society of Kenya Thika chapter end of year party that was to be held on the 6th of December 2024 at Rainbow Resort, and the members' welfare, and the chair lady's remarks on that day, that is the Thika end of year party, was that they had had a fear of their challenges, but also opportunities that they were looking to capitalize on, and they were looking forward to the year 2025, and that she was hoping that the members would play as a team. And special thanks to God for sustaining them. So the next chapter is Kiambu chapter. The Kiambu chapter comprises of 8 officials. The chair is Madam Fundi, Beth Fundi, Vice Chair Colin Warutere, Secretary Njigina, Treasurer Caroline Mwibu, Kiambu Rep Maxwell Njehu, Rachel Wamboi Kikuyu Rep, Charles Njau Limuru Rep, and Johnson Juguna Gidunguri Rep. So their activities included bar benches, bar bench meeting at the Gidunguri Law Courts. There was also a discussion of Kiambu High Court being enlisted as a polling station for the Lsk national elections. And for the first time, it was actually a reflection of Kiambu being enlisted as a polling station. And so for the first time that had made history, there was also the inaugural of the Thika High Court bar bench meeting. There was also the Chief Magistrate's bar bench meeting, Limuru bar bench committee meeting, and Lady Justice Omende's farewell on the 7th of June 2024 that had been graced by His Excellency, the Governor of Kiambu, Wamatangi, and the Justices Chepkwani, and Justices Mshila, and Justice Omende, Justice Omende. Kiambu chapter leadership gifted Honorable Lady Justice Omende for that farewell. And then there was the Thidongori bar bench. And there was also the Kiambu CUC meetings and the memorial service for the late Honorable Kivuti, the Purple Ribbon Week and protests, that coincided with the memorial service. The chapter also took part in that. There was also the protest in Kiambu and Kikuyu, and also the representation of advocates within Kiambu, one Ms. Waithaka, representing members that had been arrested after the protest. And there was finally the Judiciary National Prayer Day. The chapter participated in that. And the branch went for a courtesy call to Kiambu High Court on the 5th of August 2024 to try and resolve the issues and discuss a way forward on resolving the issues within the High Court of Kiambu practice. There was also the LSK Kiambu chapter members meeting. And then finally, a resolution was made that there would be elections on the 21st of September 2024 for the positions of chair, vice, secretary, treasurer, and the representative of various practice centers. And that was done, and Escalada was arrested, and then there was finally an AGM where the new council was sworn in on the 25th of October 2024 at Senior Members Club. There was the reading and adoption of the notice convening the meeting, confirmation of minutes, matters arising, notice of motion submitted, presentation by the treasurer, swearing in and hand over. So the new council that got to be elected in the current council for Kiambu chapter is Beth Fundi, Munana Waruteri, Njagina, Mashaya, Caroline Muebu, Benson Juguna, and Charles Ngigi, Maxwell Njehu, and Rachel Wambui. Finally, there were activities around the Legal Awareness Week where the members gave back to the society, and they held this activity at the Kiambu law courts and Kikuyu and Limuru and Kibongui law courts. There was also a CSR at Tresgard Children's Home in Ruiru, and members came and supported the initiative. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Kiambua. You've indeed confirmed that we are all cousins. That said, members, at this juncture, I will now be inviting our auditors, that is Ronald's LLP. We are joined by Ms. Evelyn Kanjaba, and for the presentation of the financial statements and auditor reports, we will also be led by our treasurer, Ms. Irene Kiwa. Madam Treasurer, take it over.
Good evening, good afternoon, sorry, members. It's my pleasure to be giving you the financial report for the year ending up to 31st December 2024. The report that will be given before you is to basically reflect our commitment to prudent financial stewardship, transparency, accountability in the management of the branch resources. And as we will be deliberating and presenting the report, we actually invite members to give us feedback, questions, and recommendations, because this will be really insightful to enable us strengthen our financial governance. With respect to what governs our report, we have comprehensively stated it in our report in page 128. And basically, I'll give a recap of it, is that the Law Society of Kenya, the Act requires the branch council members to prepare financial statements which give a true and fair view of the statement of affairs of the society as at the end of the financial year and of the results of that year. It also requires the branch council members to ensure that the society maintains proper accounting records which disclose with reasonable accuracy the financial position of the society. The branch council members are also responsible for safeguarding the assets of the society. The council accepts responsibility for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or error. They also accept responsibility for 1, designing, implementing, and maintaining such internal controls as they determine necessary to enable the presentation of financial statements that are free from material misstatement, whether due to fraud or presentation of fraud. The second thing is selecting suitable accounting policies and applying them consistently, and lastly, making accounting estimates and judgments that are reasonable in the circumstances. Having made an assessment of the society's ability to continue as a going concern, the council is not aware of any material uncertainties related to events or conditions that may cast doubt upon the society's ability to continue as a going concern. This council acknowledges that the independent audit of the financial statement does not relieve them of their responsibilities. And it's in this juncture that I would like to welcome Ms. Evelyn to continue to give us the independent auditor's report of the branch. Welcome, Ms. Evelyn. Members have been well guided by our auditor that I present first our statements. Just to guide members within the report, what is being shared in the screen will go to page 132. This basically gives the statement of income and expenditure members. For ease of interpreting our financial statements, for each amount, you have actually given a side note, and when you see the side note, when you see note 2, the side notes actually give now the actual breakdown of what the members or the branch has utilized. And these side notes, you can start looking at them from page 13. So I'll try and explain as much as possible. So with respect to our income, we started with our opening balances, which was the year 2024, it was 19,171,27 shillings. And this revenue basically was accumulation of the devolution fund, which was 15,401,427 shillings. We also got an annual grant from the HQ, which was for 2 million, and then we had also donations. Donations is basically sponsors that are giving, we get from the branch, which was now 1,769,600 shillings, and that's what totaled to 19,171,27 shillings. This was a slight increment, this was a slight decline from last year with respect to reduced donation within the branch. We also had other sources of income, which totaled to 3,975,924,000, and these other sources of income basically comes from member subscription, advertisements, fees, events income, and merchandise. Now, in the year 2023, member subscription was 253,400. In 2024, thank you so much, members, we actually had an increased subscription, which now led to us having a total subscription of 381,000. Advertisements, that there was a decline in the year 2024. For 2023, we had 111,500 shillings, whereas in 2024, the advertisement fee that we received was 78,031, whereas the events income was 3,416 in 2024, and 2023 was 73. So that brought a total income of 3,974,924. So that meant our total income as of that year was 23,146,951. Whereas in 2023, the total was 20,561,167. With respect to the expenses, we had administrative expenses, which totaled to 16,732,012 shillings. That was in the year 2024, whereas in 2023, we had 14,007,741. So the expenditure increase, you will clearly see the computation breakdown of those expenses again at page 138. What basically brought in also the expenditure costs was staff increments, where we had now an expenditure of 11,062,881. This was a slight increment from the previous year of 2023 for 9,358,448 shillings. We had the ICT and website maintenance. This basically is usually the mail chip and Zoom for our hosting of our events. And for that year is 2024, we did an expenditure of 336,167. This was a reduction from the last year, which was the year 2023, which was 380,244. I think the other expense I would like to bring as to its increment was rent charges, which with where we are situated, the rent was increasing to service charge. There was an increment with respect to that. So the expenses that we got for that year is what now came to 16,732,000. Finance expenses, these are basically the bank charges that we get from the bank, which was which we have three banks, that's Kingdom Bank, KCB, and Equity. So the bank charges for the entire year we total to 77,498, whereas in the year 2023 was 72,572. Then we had event expenses. This is basically what we have with respect to our programs. For the year 2023, we actually have recurrent event expenses, events which are 19 in total. And you will find the total breakdown for that at page 139, where we have clearly tabulated the expenditure for both the year 2023 and 2024. So you will find that the AGM expense for the year 2024 was what was high, and the reason behind this was because we held both a physical and virtual meeting. That's what gave us the cost of 735,200 in the year 2024, whereas in 2023 we actually spent 277,000. The reason for that is only we held a virtual meeting. We did a reduction, we did a reduced expenditure in the end of year party for the year 2024. That was 710,700, and whereas in 2023 the expenditure was 969,300, and as you got from the reports, the end of year party for 2024 was a great success. Then we had corporate social responsibility, which was 31,300, whereas in the year 2023 we had 135,297. There was no golf tournament for that year. We had the Legal Tech Innovation Week, which we also tried to reduce the expenditure from the branch, which we used 622,590, different from the year 2023, where the expenditure was 1,127,830. There were no elections in the year 2023-2024. We had a mentorship program expense in our year, which is the year 2024, for 146,950. Purple ribbon, that we also explained, the expenditure was 61,200, which we tried to cut costs from the previous year, which was 295,393. We had a quarterly luncheon and quiz nights, which were increased from the previous year in 2023. There were more quiz nights in the year 2024, and the expenditure for that was 255,330. There was no radio show for the year 2024. Sports Day, we had a sports day in the year 2024, which costed us 956,340, different from the year 2023, which was less, 716,024 shillings. The reasoning for that is this time we had more time to have our team take initiative to ensure they're properly prepared for the sports day. So we had that increment. Then there was no Young Lawyers Medical MPI cover. There was the ELS annual conference, which we spent 240,000 for the council to be in attendance. Same to Lsk Nairobi Branch elections, which was not there in the previous year, which was for 460,000. Also the LSK annual conference for our members to attend, 316,600. There was the in-house council training expense at GLE, which was for 744,083 shillings. We had also a Christmas concert for the first time, which we spent 50,000. There was the Justice Cup, which was held in Embu, that was spent 120,000, and we had now the JC presidential debate, which we spent 84,200. So the total expenditure for that year was 5,434,493 against 2023, which was 4,887,912. So we had a lot of activities for that year. Lastly, we also gave grants to the chapters, which grant in the year 2024 we gave 2,225,178, which was an increment from the previous year, which is 2 million. This is in line with the branch's objective to ensure devolution and welfare practice are better done also within our chapters. So despite our eventful events, the branch ran into a deficit at the end of the year, which was for 1,422,230 in the year 2024, which is against the deficit of 407,58 shillings. So unfortunately, members, the branch is always running into deficits with respect to running the affairs of ensuring your practice and welfare is at par. With respect to our financial position, what we have is the property and equipment assets, and this you will clearly see the notes as to what that entails, and that is note 13, which you will it's clearly outlined in page 141. So this basically gives a recap of what, so it gives the assets that we have at the branch, both furniture and electronic, and also the depreciation of value with respect to what we have. So with respect to 2024, our property and equipment value was 922,411, whereas in the year 2023 was 922,379. The software was 74,000, whereas in the year 2023 is 141,000. The current assets, which is what we have at the bank, cash and bank balances, you will find what we actually had at the end of 31st December. And this was 1,468,246,000. The breakdown of the cash you will find against note 9. And note 9, you will find it at page 140. I'll just briefly recap that. At Commercial Kenya Bank, we had 1,153,470 in the year 2024, whereas in 2023, the closing balance was 1,460,619. At Kingdom Bank, we had 13,960, while in 2023, there was 508,298. M-Pesa balances was 73,000 in 2024, whereas in 2023 was 130,626. Equity Bank, we had 227,816, while 2023 there was 185,096 shillings. So that's basically what our cash and bank balances are populated in page 8. Accounts and other receivables, the clear notes for what is the 1,355,495, and these basically are the grants we receive, grants received, staff allowances, account receivables, and prepayment insurance for the branch. So that's what was computed to the 1,355,295 in the year 2024, whereas 2023 was 941,932. So the total asset value that we had at 31st December 2024 was 3,819,952, whereas in 2023 was 4,294,049 shillings. Then we had current liabilities. This is the accounts and other payables, which again the clear breakdown for that is at page 11, which you will find mostly it's the statutory cost with respect to the salaries we pay our secretariat. And with respect to the first item, which is accounts and other payables, this is basically money that is owed to other business vendors. And in this instance, we had bought, our 2 laptops had been bought, and there was still a pending payment, which was now the 888,158, which I can confirm that it has actually been paid this year. So that will be a reduction in next year's financial accounts. So that brought that amount to be 1,499,541 in the year 2021, whereas in 2023 the amount was 837,997,000. So the total funds and liabilities, as I have indicated, is basically now the 3,819,952 against 4,284,049. So at this juncture, then now I will welcome our internal auditor now to give us their report. Thank you.
Good afternoon, members. Thank you, Treasurer. So my name is Evelyn Kanjagwa. With me is my colleague, Briston. I'll be taking you through the opinion as has been read to us by the Treasurer. In the year, we had a deficit of 1,422,230. In terms of our statement of financial position, we closed at net worth of 2,320,411. That is taking into consideration our total assets less our current liabilities. So I know probably a member might ask them, if we made a deficit, how did we operate the branch? and I would want to refer you to page 135. That is the statement of cash flow that shows the movement of the funds in and out. As mentioned, having that deficit of 1,422,230, if you make the adjustments that are non-cash there, then you have that deficit in terms of the working capital changes, and then take into consideration the movement of the receivable from 2023 to 2024, look at the movement of our payables from 2023 to 2024, so you'll get what money was used in terms of operating activities. We also purchased assets, as has been mentioned, and also if you refer to note number 13, we had some additions of assets of 219, 209. So we had money in the bank at the close of the year of 2023. Our movement in the year, that is the money flow in and out, of 820,492. If you sum them, those two, you will find we still had money in the bank of 1,466,246, which is represented by our cash and bank balances on note number 9. So members, to the opinion of the auditor on page number 129, we have audited the financial statements of the Law Society of Kenya, that is Nairobi branch, which comprise the statement of financial position, the statement of income and expenditure, the statement of changes in fund balances, cash flows, and a summary of the significant accounting policies. In our opinion, the financial statements give a true and fair view of the state of the society's financial affairs as at 31st December 2024, the results of its operations and cash flows for the year then ended in accordance with the applicable IFRSs and the Law Society of Kenya Act of 2014. The basis of opinion: we conducted our audit in accordance with the international standards on auditing. We are also independent of the society in accordance with the International Ethics Standards Board for Accountants, Code of Ethics for Professional Accountants, and we believe that the audit evidence we received was sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for opinion. We have no key audit matter where we are required to report to you members whether there were matters of more significance that came to our attention, besides the areas of improvement that was in the management letter. We did not have any significant matter that you need to be aware of. And then we have other information which we do not express an opinion on. And then we have the council members' responsibilities. It is their responsibility to ensure that the financial statements we are looking at today are true and fair. The auditor's responsibility is to express an opinion. As part of our audit, we exercise professional judgment and maintain professional skepticism throughout the audit. We also identify and assess the risks of material misstatements of the financial statements, whether due to fraud or error, design and perform audit procedures responsive to those risks, and obtain audit evidence that is sufficient and appropriate to provide a basis for opinion. The risk of detecting a material misstatement resulting from fraud is higher than the one resulting from error, as fraud may involve collusion, forgery, intentional omissions, misrepresentations, or the override of internal control. We also obtain an understanding of the internal control relevant to the audit, and again design audit procedures that are appropriate in the circumstances, but not for the purpose of expressing an opinion on the effectiveness of the internal control. We also evaluate the appropriateness of the accounting policies, any estimates and disclosures that are made by the council, and we conclude on the appropriateness of the use of the going concern basis that you realize members have been used in preparation of our account. We also evaluate the overall presentation, structure, and content of the financial statements. So as required by the Law Society of Kenya Act of 2014, and based on our audit, we have obtained all the information and explanation which to the best of our knowledge and belief were necessary for the purposes of our audit. In our opinion, proper accounting records have been kept by the society as far as appears from our examination of those books, and the society statement of financial position is in agreement with the books of account. Back to you, Treasurer.
Thank you, Ms. Evelyn. To the members, this report and the audit report was also presented to the National Council, and that was also presented in the annual general meeting of the society. So I am pleased to say we have been given a clean bill of health, and indeed we are committed to ensure we have prudent financial stewardship of the branch resources. So at this juncture, I think we will welcome any questions, recommendation that we will have from our members. Thank you.
Members, are there any questions? I see Millicent Alivita. Your hand is up. Let's kindly unmute Millicent. Millicent, you can unmute from your end and proceed to ask your question. Millicent, are you with us? It seems Millicent is having a challenge. Maybe you can type your question in the chat section. Any other question from members? Thank you, Mr. Christopher. We take note of your congratulatory message. There being no other question from members, I will now invite us to do the adoption of the reports and also the adoption of the audited financial report. So we start with the adoption of the annual report for the year 2024. The poll has been put up. Members, let us participate in the poll for the adoption of the annual report for the year 2024. Thank you, members. We have adopted the annual report for the year 2024. Let us now go to the adoption of the financial report as presented. Members, the report has been adopted by 90% of the participants. Thank you, members. Very well. We have also adopted the financial report. Thank you, members. I believe we are now really done with the substantive agenda for this particular meeting today. I will, at this juncture, be inviting the secretary to confirm to us whether there was any notice of motion by members so that we deal with it. Madam Secretary.
Thank you again, Chair, and thank you, members, for being with us for this while. So the next agenda item was a confirmation of whether there were any notices of motion received by the Secretary for discussion at this AGM. There were none, which is quite unfortunate or fortunate. It could mean we are doing so well, you don't know how to react. Or we are doing so badly, you also don't know how to react. Either way, we believe that member participation in the branch affairs has been very good. In our estimation, we could be wrong, but that is how we look at it from this point. And possibly the lack of any motions could be attributed to the fact that the branch has various communication channels with its members, both formally and informally, and we continue to interact in those spaces. That being said, we encourage members to be putting in formal notices of motions for discussion at the AGMs, and even if possible, to inform the calling of an SGM for the branch with a view to institutionalizing good corporate governance at the branch level, because we believe devolution at the Law Society of Kenya is the heartbeat of member welfare and practice. That being said, allow me, members, to make a report on a motion that was tabled by the Council of the Law Society of Kenya Nairobi Branch at the LSK AGM held on the 28th of March this year in Kisumu. Most of you are aware of that motion. If you look at our report, it appears at pages 145 to 146 of that report. And as part of our reporting requirements, we felt it was necessary first to report to members regarding this motion, but more importantly to probably also just explain to members what we deem went down on the 28th of March 2025 in Kisumu. So first, this motion is the one dated the 7th of March 2025, and it is signed or proposed by Eric Kivuva, the branch chair, and it's seconded by Stephen Mundia Mwangi, council member of the Law Society of Kenya Nairobi branch. If you look at page 145, and this motion was moved on the floor, and there were reactions to it on the floor of the AGM, you see what this motion seeks to do. But before I go into that, it is to announce that this motion failed. So we did not succeed in our hunting mission in Kisumu in as far as this motion was concerned. And the failure rate, this motion garnered, I think, about 43% of the support, and there was a 57% voting no to this motion. we want to heartily thank the members who felt this motion was worthwhile, and we are persuaded a majority of those members are from this branch. But we also want to encourage those who voted no to this motion for one reason or another, that it is for that very reason that we are here today, to first of all acknowledge that maybe we didn't do some of the things properly that we needed to do with respect to this motion, and secondly, to call upon us to own our branch, to be proud of our branch, to participate effectively and fully in the affairs of our branch, and if there is any point or anything that we do not understand about any motion, any activity, anything that the branch is doing, this current council, and I believe the branch charter mandates all previous and future councils to be in a position to explain that to the membership for better appraisal and for better decision making. That is not to say there was poor decision making around this motion, but we think we could have done a lot more on the sensitization around it, and then probably we would have had a different outcome. Secondly, this was not the first motion of its kind that was being fronted by the Council of the Law Society of Kenya Nairobi Branch. There was a motion that was moved, I believe, in the AGM of 2022, dealing with a similar issue. That motion also failed. So in effect, we have failed twice. We are hoping that in the third attempt, we will resoundingly succeed. And that is only possible with the input of members and with members working with us. And that is not to say that we will mandatorily move this motion in the next AGM or SGM of the Law Society of Kenya, but to say that the content, the spirit, and the intent of this motion remains compelling. What this motion seeks to do is something that at some point has to be done for the continuity and the survival of the Law Society of Kenya Nairobi Branch. Now, to go to the motion, if you look at what the motion seeks to do, the motion sought to, by a resolution passed at the AGM of the Law Society of Kenya, we sought that Part 2 of the third schedule of the Law Society of Kenya General Regulations 2020 be amended to reflect the following LSK branches funding formula. So this is the funding motion as it has come to be known. And the proposal was on these parameters that are set out in the motion, and the motion is proposing that a member-based share be 55%, basic equal share be 40%, distance to courts be 3%, and equalization fund be 2%. And the motion is based on the grounds on the face of the motion, including the need for proper funding of the branches and the branch activities. By law, the branches are mandated to take care of welfare and practice matters, and critically, the membership of the branches as a key component of this motion. To just elaborate on the basis of this motion, the current formula, because this motion only sets out what the proposal was, with the understanding or the assumption that we are supposed to know the law, so generally we should have known what the current formula is. The current formula, if I may just refer, is as follows in terms of how the distribution of the devolution fund is to be done. The basic equal share is currently 60%. So of the amount that is allocated for division to the branches, 60% of that amount goes to the branches equally. Member-based share, that is the amount received based on the number of members, is 30%. Distance to courts is 5% currently, and equalization is also 5%. So it is this formula that we sought to have amended, and we felt that the better or the appropriate province for doing this was the AGM, for among other reasons, being that the AGM is the supreme organ of the council, or of the society rather, and the decisions made at the AGM then are binding because the members are supreme. The reason that we were seeking to have this formula assessed and amended is that as is, this formula in totality brings about just 37% of shareable revenue to the LSK Nairobi branch. That is the first point, members, that if this formula is implemented as is, what we get is about just 37% of the shareable revenue. So about 63% goes to the other branches. That in itself is not a travesty, but it is actually a travesty when considered against the backdrop of the numbers of members and the activities that each of the branches do. So in terms of the numbers, the Law Society of Kenya Nairobi branch accounts for 76% of the membership of the Law Society of Kenya. That is to say that only 24% of the membership of the Law Society of Kenya are not members of the Law Society of Kenya Nairobi branch. The third thing is then, how do we come up with the amount called the devolution kitty that is supposed to be shared to the branches? That is the easier part of this whole equation, and it's easier because it is just the PC, a section of the PC money, which is the sum of 3,000 shillings per member, being deducted from the PC amount to go for devolution and to be distributed to branches. The understanding at that point is that the collection of this money from the hands of the member is done equally, so that every member of the Law Society of Kenya contributes an equal amount. But when it is distributed to the branches, it is not equal. With then the understanding being that 76% of contributors are getting back 37% of that amount as shareable revenue. We are of the firm belief that that does not represent equity, it does not represent equality, neither is it anywhere near fairness. But more pressingly is, how then did we come up with the current formula that we say is not in the interest of members? This formula came about sometime in the year 2016 when devolution was being entrenched in the Law Society of Kenya, and it was a gentleman's argument with a view to not disenfranchising any branch of the Law Society of Kenya and to achieve harmony, sort of. And that is how we got this formula that we are currently utilizing. But the implementation of this formula is what has brought us to what we are saying today, and the treasurer has put down the financials. The financials show that the branch in the year 2014 received the sum of 15 million shillings as a result of this formula being applied. If of the 14,000 members of the branch, we were to say hypothetically that everyone gets to have their share taken to their branch, that is for your 3,000, if all of it were to come to Nairobi branch, this branch would be receiving 42 million shillings. So the deficit there is the difference that we are asking that should be bridged. We are not even saying give us 42 million shillings, which is what our members contribute. We are all aware of other principles of governance of public finance and distribution of finance, and there are those who say 1 man, 1 shilling. That's not even what we are saying here, because if that was to be what we would be saying, we would be saying give us 42 million shillings. But the formula we are proposing only seeks to increase the weight on member number. That is the gist of it, that member number cannot be diminished in the distribution of a fund where the collection is based on the number of members. It's simple. In our view, in our minds, it is simple logic that the more members contribute, the more their money should be. And we're not saying get everything away from the other branches. We are just saying from 30%, take this to 55% distribution based on member number. And then the equal share can be reduced to 30%. When this motion was tabled and debated at the floor of the House, one of the issues that came about was that there is a committee of the Law Society of Kenya, known as the Devolution Committee, that was relooking this formula. We are alive to that position, but we are also alive to the fact that that committee has not given any proposal on how the branches should have an upscaling in their funding. More critically is the fact that what the branch does and the member numbers of the Nairobi branch increase every day. And our members will agree with us that we have successively tried to even introduce new events. We've tried to do more outreach, and we've tried to come up with more innovative solutions to some of our member issues, and especially in the sphere of social welfare. This morning, before we came to the AGM, and part of the reason why we also got a bit late, we hosted the inaugural men's breakfast. We have also hosted the inaugural physical mentorship forum. We've also hosted several, as a first inaugural Karura monthly walk or stroke cycling, among other things that we are thinking should be better suited to what our members want and what should then go into taking care of practice and welfare. This is beside the over 38 bar benches that we take care of, the issues regarding advocates being arrested, the issues regarding emerging issues like Gen Z protests and such other issues that the branch has to deal with. The net effect of this is that we require more funding, and our principal source of funding is the LSK National Office. We've not had any representation from the National Office that there is a shortage of the amount our members contribute up there that then cannot come to them at the branch to take care of their issues and welfare. So this is the basis upon which this motion was moved, to simply relook the formula. We understand that probably some of our members did not understand this motion. We also understand that because we operate in the arena of politics, politics could and was indeed played with this motion, but we are asking the member of Nairobi branch and the proud member to be more specific, to look at what we are proposing again, to interact with it more closely, and if our kingdoms come again, may we work together to ensure that this branch is self-sustaining and Ronald's LLP do not come back here to tell us we have suffered a deficit and we are in the red. But the commitment that this council makes to members is this. In as far as member funds are concerned, we are prudently utilizing the same and accounting the last coin on how member funds are being used. This may appear to be pedestrian and commonplace, but let me put it out here and now that this is not the practice in other branches of the Law Society of Kenya. And we've been told, and the finance department at the national office has confirmed that indeed in other branches the chairs could even withdraw unilaterally monies from the branch accounts. We are calling members to scrutinize us closely, look at the accounts closely, and ensure that we are using the money that we are getting prudently and for the purpose it is intended. Number two is to say that the 15 million we've gotten is not the only income that has been presented to you today. The other bit of that income is member subscription, donation, and revenue from events. And this is majorly down to members participating in their branch, and this is majorly down to members saying we are going to support our branch. So it is to ask that before we win this fight, our members should continue supporting their branch, pay for our events that are paid for, and council will ensure that if it's not necessary to pay for events, then we will have free events. But even for the paid events, we try as much as possible to subsidize them so that we have more of our members on board. And number three is that the Nairobi branch also comprises of the Thika and Kiambu chapters. These chapters also get an allocation from the branch. And this allocation definitely is not enough as is. And the only way we are going to upscale the capacity of our branch, of our chapters to deal with their issues at the chapter level is to add them more funding. If you look at the Kiambu chapter report, if you look at the Thika County chapter report, you will see that there are pertinent issues the chapters are dealing with, including issues of the lands registry, including issues with the courts, and the perennial issue of masqueraders is something that is more prevalent at the chapters. The only possible way we are going to be able to support our chapters efficiently is when we have more funds coming to the branch and cascading down to our chapters. Finally, let me finish by saying this. I gave the breakdown in terms of the amounts then. How does this look like in terms of how much is available for distribution for each member of the branch? The formula as currently applied gives other branches a maximum of over 7,000 shillings per member, meaning the amount that is taken down to the branch for use for each member's welfare is up to 7,000 shillings. For Nairobi branch of the Law Society of Kenya, that amount is less than 1,000 shillings a member. I believe the last time we confirmed it was about 900 shillings or so per member. So every financial year of the Law Society of Kenya as a member of Nairobi branch, you only have 900 bob at your council to protect your practice and welfare. We are saying that is not enough. We are saying that is not fair, it's not equitable, and it is the reason this motion was moved. We unreservedly apologize for not probably giving a clearer breakdown of this motion, but we are calling on our members to work with us. We have been told in final and in closing that there are other methods the national office will also give money to the branch. That is absolutely true. In fact, What the formula demands is that this is the mandatory share that should go to the branches. In other words, it's the minimum of what is expected to be taken to the branches. It's not the maximum. It doesn't prevent the national office from giving more. In the last 2 or so years, the national office has given a grant to the branches. And that grant has been about the sum of £1 million shillings to each of the branches, the 8 branches of the Law Society of Kenya. Yes. The LSK Budget and Finance Committee has proposed that let there be more grants given to the branches. And they are proposing that for Nairobi branch, for example, the branch should receive a maximum of 5 million, in grants, as opposed to the 2 million, 1 million that is currently given. There is also the equalization fund that is actually in the formula. That is at the discretion of council. And because it is at the discretion of council, that amount has not been given for the last 2 years. The other thing then that we are trying to do with this motion was to have this money enshrined in law and not at the discretion of anyone, council included. But we've also seen what members are saying, including at the beginning of this AGM, regarding how our network may have been unstable, how we don't look as handsome as you know us to be and beautiful as you know us to be. And someone is even wondering if we are using a church, a PA system to stream this. We are saying these are some of the issues why we need more money. And as in closing, there is the question of devolve more functions to the branches, for the branches then to sustain this call for more money. Let me say this, we are alive to the principle that funds must follow functions. But let me also say that if you look at practice and welfare as functions of the branches of the Law Society of Kenya, and you break down what practice, for example, means, from interacting with the courts, having the bar benches, having the CUCs, having the everything that deals with practice, and then you go to the welfare function that looks at making sure that the advocate is well taken care of, we humbly submit that there is hardly any function that is actually not devolved to the branches of the Law Society of Kenya. If your branch effectively works, if your branch takes care of your practice and welfare issues, you are home and thrive. We so submit that work with us in this journey when you next see it, but even more importantly, we would even like for a member to be the one to tell us this motion is ripe to be moved, even by a member of the Law Society of Kenya, Nairobi. I thank you, members, and I return it to Chair and to any other council member who may have anything additional to say about this. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Honourable Secretary. You have prosecuted the matter. I suppose the gentleman's breakfast did you well. But I must also just say that indeed we acknowledge that there has been efforts by the national office, and the grant amount was increased from 1 million to 2 million shillings. We know that the national office has capacity to do more. We don't doubt the goodwill, and that's why I want to invite the national office to, as a starting point, think about the funds that members, or rather there was a motion in the AGM where members passed a resolution that the 500 shillings, that is the library levy, 250 of that amount will be allocated to the branches. I have been engaging with the national office, and this is just to say that we hope and trust that the release of these funds will be done in the next few weeks. That said, members, please allow me to acknowledge the presence of the former Vice Chair, the Lsk Nairobi Branch, Madam Liz Shiro. I must also acknowledge the presence of Madam President Faith Odhiambo, who is present online. Madam President, if in a position, you can just say a quick hello to members before we go to the AOBs. Please unmute Madam President. Madam President, are you able to address your members? It seems we are not able to get hold of Madam President, but Madam President, we thank you for gracing this event today. Members, I now want to invite AOBs. I can see a number of hands. So let's look at and so there is a Miss Grace Bondi, her hand is up. Please unmute Miss Grace Bondi to pose her question. Miss Bondi, are you able to? If Ms. Bondi is not in a position, could we have Mr. Nelson Ogeto? Please unmute Mr. Nelson Ogeto. Mr. Ogeto, please proceed. Yes, we can hear you.
Activity, or it is something that has been prohibited either by law, at the national law fees, or at the branch level. And if so, what can be done at least to that particular issue, so that the branch can also be active in sourcing for its own funds rather than always complain from the head office to get funds. That would be all.
Thank you, Mr. Ogeto, for that question. Very well, allow me to address that question very briefly. Mr. Ogeto, if you came during the presentation of the financials, you note that the branch was able to generate up to about 3.6 million from some of its events. This is compared to just about 769,000 from the previous year. So in terms of events, the branch is allowed in law to have its own events, and we have done very well, even coming up with first-time kind of events, and the branch has been able to, in a short 12 months, we were able to generate 3.6 million. And so we are trying our best to have member-centered events, but we also appreciate that the bulk of our membership is young advocates, and we must, once in a while, be able to accommodate hosting 1 or 2 free events. That is why we urge members to support the branch continuously. The technical team, I'm told that our sound is still bad. Is it okay now? Hello? Technical team, are we good? Very well. I think I was reacting to the question by Mr. Nelson that he wondered whether the branch can do other activities to generate more income, and my answer was, when we look at the financials for the year 2024, there was a significant increase compared to the previous year, that is 2023, where the branch was only able to generate about 769,000. In the year 2024, we managed to generate about 3.6 million. And we continue to encourage members to participate in all the branch events. And the reason we are keen on getting more funding from the national office is that the bulk of our membership is young members, and we want, even as we organize events, to have everyone on board. And so once in a while we want to be able to host our members and arrange for free events. I have seen the question on what is the role of the Internal Dispute Resolution Committee. The role of the Internal Dispute Resolution Committee is to solve disputes between councils. Either because members were not aware of this particular committee, we have not received any complaints or any reports of a dispute between councils, but we invite members where there are disputes between councils. We do not have to solve them on social media or in any other ways outside the law. Please approach the branch and we will constitute a mediation team that will be able to sort that dispute. I have seen the request by an anonymous attendee requesting that we weed out all masqueraders and close all farms aiding the masqueraders. That is a matter we are committed to, and one of the things that we will be able to achieve is the issue of dealing with masqueraders once and for all, especially if we are able to get more funding to just finance the operations that are required for you to be able to deal with the masqueraders once and for all. We will also obviously be engaging members who are suspected to be protecting masqueraders and just deal with the matter once and for all. preparing with members an elaborate plan that will be putting in place to deal with masqueraders once and for all. So thank you, members, and that is a matter that we are taking seriously. I have seen a recommendation from a member that the Karura activities are good initiatives to appreciate those who participating. The main objective of the Karura activities is primarily members just coming together to work. But more importantly, the issue of mental health is one that is central to members' welfare. And so one of the things we are encouraging members to do is to engage in physical activities that will aid just boost their mood and also keep them healthy. So that is the main objective behind the Karura initiative. Very well, members. I believe I have addressed the questions that have been put in the chat. I will now, members, invite us to go deal with the AOB. Any AOB, members? I have seen a couple of hands from Mr. Sam Akwali. Please unmute Mr. Sam Akwali. Mr. Sam Akwali, you can proceed to pose your question. Sorry, you are AOB.
Yeah. Because the intention, for example, small claims was to expeditiously deal with matters. Now, if they are done with 60 days, then it will take another 60 days just to get the decree. I think that defeats the whole essence of the expeditious dealing with matters. Something like a decree is a one-page thing. And in fact, by the time and the ready to, yes, I think if we can get together, put our minds together, so that even when an officer of the court, at the superior court level or even at magistrate court level,
just about 7 or 8 members sharing their attendance fees. And so you find that most of the time when you engage with the judiciary, they ask for the statistics. And the only thing you have is just 8 members who participate. We can't doesn't let on our part. But council, I appreciate your willingness to work together with us. Let us get to know which are these spending fees or who have these spending fees with them. And we will deal with the matter because at the moment we have a very robust engagement with the judiciary from the office of the Chief Justice to the CM courts in the matter. So thank you very much. And that is a matter we will take. Thank you. Any other AOD members?
Thank you, Chair. Good afternoon, everyone. So basically, mine is a concern. During the visit to the various chapters, there was a pertinent issue that was raised regarding Kiambu High Court. And so now my question, rather, from what I have actually received from some of my members, is that are there any steps that have since been taken by the branch to try and at least salvage that situation at Kiambu High Court?
Thank you, Chairman. Yes, thank you for this opportunity to give a vote of thanks. It is my pleasure, first of all, to say thank you to the host of this hotel for giving us an opportunity to host our Nairobi Branch Agm at this facility. Thank you very much, the hotel, the staff, and the ambience.